from the show that is always on your side. This is Eye to Eye, Kansas City.
Get a look at what's coming up on our show for today. We have an election preview for April 7th's election. We'll tell you who and what is going to be on the ballot. And of course, some important dates that you need to keep in mind if you want to get registered to vote. And of course, we have an update with one former charter school. The issues of real estate come up in mind with this particular issue. We'll let you know and we'll have the full details coming up. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us here on Eye to Eye, Kansas City today. Let's first let you in on the April 7th election. The next election is on Tuesday, April 7th, not that far away. Let's get past the last date to register to vote for the April 7th ballot is going to be on March 11th, 2015. Again, that is on Wednesday, March 11th, 2015. The last day to certify ballot items to in-person ballot, absentee ballot opens up on February 24th. So, those who want that, you got time to do so. Not much time. I mean, well, you got time to do it, rather. So, that is what is going on. Just to reiterate with you that March 11th is the last day, March 11th, to get registered to vote. So those who are not registered voters, you need to do so. You can log on to kcmoresources.weebly.com for that information. We have that available right there for you. It's free of charge. You're not asking you for anything. Just log on to that website, get registered to vote. Click on the links for the Kansas City election board, those who live in Kansas City. And there's also some big elections on April 7th around in surrounding areas from Raytown to Independence and so forth and so on. So we'll let you know on the outcome of the elections as well, right here on Eye to Eye, Kansas City. But what is going to be on the April 7th ballot, you might ask? And well, it is up to me to answer that, and I'm going to answer that right now. Now I've told you about who is going to run for mayor. Two of the people who is going to run for mayor. You already know one. He's already mayor now. And his name is Sly James. Mayor Sly James, or Sylvester Sly James, is going to be on the ballot. But you might know of this man as well, and his name is by the name of Clay Chastain. He is the big pusher of streetcars, of his own personal streetcar plan that has been around the city for years and has cost the city a lot of legal money and funds, and he has recently had his issue in a ballot last year. So he is running for mayor to get his personal vendetta out there. Just to let you know. He said it himself. So I'm just going to let you know that one. And Vincent Lee, I'm not too familiar with this person. Vincent Lee is also running from the mayoral position. But let's look at the councilmen and women that are, well, soon to be. Somebody's going to be a councilman or woman for these presumed districts that is up for grabs for the following people. For the council member at large, 1st District, Scott Wagner, Jeff Roberts, and this is for the 1st District at large seat. 2nd District at large seats has this: Teresa Lohr and Jay Hodges. For the 3rd District at large seats, Quentin D. Lucas, Virginia D. Evans, Carmelo Coleman, Forrestine Beasley, Carol C.J. Gatlin, Stephen Gordon. For council member at large, 4th District, Jared Campbell, Jim Glover, Brian Stalder, and Catherine Shields. For the 5th District at large, for the council members, here's the candidates: Teresa Garza Ruiz, hopefully I pronounced that last name right, Dennis Anthony, and Lee Barnes. And for the 6th District, Scott Taylor rather. For the 3rd District for council members, I'm going to put, for all the names that I cannot pronounce, I'm going to apologize now. I want to apologize now. I've worked hard at it, but sometimes that tongue just slides on. Shahir, this is a funny name here. Athatab, hopefully that's the right pronunciation for that. Jermaine Reed, as you all know too well. Jamkia Kendricks, Brian Dial, Rachel Riley. For the 4th District, Julie Justice, John Ferriel, Alyssa Kennedy, Lance Conley, Kenneth Backus, Leal Muhammad, and Edward Bell for the 5th District. Now for the 6th District, you have Terrence P. Nash, Henry Klein, and Kevin McNewness. And that is what the people that are going to be on the ballot. But let's take a look at the special election issues. And there's 2 questions on the ballot. And these 2 questions cover the following: park property and to impose an annual fee on loan institutions here in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, the first question reads as this: should the city of Kansas City remove the park system vacant property located generally at 534 Highland Avenue, which has been determined by the Board of Parks and Recreation Commissioners to be no longer necessary or appropriate for parkway or boulevard use. And the second question goes as the following: shall the following be approved? Shall the city of Kansas City, Missouri be reauthorized to impose an annual fee on short-term loan establishments as redefined in committee substitute for ordinance 100-829 for the administrative expenses related to the regulation, inspection, and permitting of such establishments in the amount of $1,000, for each permit, new or renewal. And those are the 2 questions that are on the ballot for the April 7th ballot. It is important to vote. It is always important to vote in any election.
Sometimes I like to quit. Nothing ever seems to fit.
Chevy Colorado, When you find new roads, you win Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
We have one that made news late last month, and this is in terms of the jury. In terms of a monetary payout, and this is with Imagine Schools having to pay nearly $1 million for the closed and defunct charter school. Now, this is due to the charter school chain's management practices. It had manipulated the local school board for a double-dealing lease scheme of the two properties that you see on the screen, one at 414 Wallace and one right off of Kensington Avenue here in Kansas City. These two schools are in Kansas City. So there was been a big operation by Imagine Schools and by the operations, and the local board did not know, and this is coming from the Kansas City Star, the local board did not know that the court determined that Imagine Schools was using a finance company that it also operated and owned called Schoolhouse Finance to sell buildings on Renaissance 2 campuses. To sell the buildings on Renaissance's 2 campuses to lower lease rates. Imagine Schools benefited from the lower rate, but continued to collect the higher rate from the local board, the court said. There is no evidence that Imagine Schools ever told any Renaissance board member how Imagine Schools would benefit from the leases. Imagine and the local board have since reached a confidential settlement, so there is no amount released, but the Star says nearly $1 million. But back in 2012, we reported on this particular charter school with the Wallace campus, and a lot of charter school staffers were not getting paid when the school shut its doors back in May 2012. And we wonder, will the staffers get their cut of the check? Or have the staffers ever got the cut of their check? We're going to look into this issue and keep you updated here on I2Y Kansas City. So it is fair to say that that both parties have come to some type of resolution. But due to the school, let me start that over, that line just didn't sound right. Due to the failure of test scores and the low test scores, the charter school closed its doors back in May of 2012, and you no longer see those schools. Now, when I took a visit up there not too long ago to the Wallace campus, and we know, as we know of, the campus is being leased. We know it's being leased through some kind of entity, and I've done some research and came to the understanding that it was Adela Lamb. Now, I don't know if that's true or if that's not. We've done some referencing, and it keeps pulling up Lamb School. So that's what we've got word of, and that's what we've pulled up, and research that we pulled up. So right now, I also went to the Kensington campus, and that sits empty and vacant and ready for someone to use it. So, like I said, back in 2012, it was a big mess, and like I'm saying now, it is a big mess. So, that is all in one little nutshell right there. Now there is a new ordinance that is taking shape down at City Hall. Now this new ordinance would allow those who are blessed and fortunate enough, unlike myself, to have remote start on their vehicles, to go ahead and leave their vehicles with that feature outside running without having to monitor it. It would be legal to do so. So the City Council is going to be expected to vote on this particular issue soon. And we're going to take a break for you. Some issues of a food, I want to share with you. Let's start this over. I want to share with you some issues of a food desert. Take a look at my short report. It's a former home of the Thriftway grocery store, and back in the early to late 90s, it was also the home of Country Mart. Now, why is a vacant grocery store a big problem for many in different areas of the city? Well, it becomes a food desert. And that food desert is an area or areas in which we're speaking of that may not have enough grocery stores or markets that have healthy food to supply a whole bunch of group of people. And why am I here at this grocery store? Well, I'm here because, well, there's a new initiative that is coming out with Truman Medical Center and Casatinos. Now, what are Casatinos, that is? The family Casatinos has a whole host of grocery stores around town, from Price Choppers to Sun Freshes, and the familiar brands that you have been familiar with for a long time here in Kansas City. And the family has been here and operating grocery stores for quite a long time as well. Now, that particular grocery store is a partnership between Casatinos and Truman Medical Centers. Now, that particular grocery store is not too far from on Troost, not too far, just a few minutes away from the Kansas City. And it's not, but food deserts are a problem because it creates a lot of travel for those who do not have four wheels, for those who cannot get around without the help and use of KCATA buses or cabs, or just simply having to use their two legs to walk to the grocery store. And it takes a lot of commuting time to get to area grocery stores. The lady that I talked to, she says that she has to make a full day of going to the grocery store due to the fact that bus scheduling is a little bit off, having to commute and having to carry things on the bus and having to walk to or from the bus stops and to eventually to get home. But the new initiative is going to start. I believe that the construction, from what we know of and what the information that we have obtained, has the construction starting on this new grocery store in about spring. Now, this isn't it, but of course, Troost. I should know where this is at. But on your side, always on Galvinburg. And food deserts are really a major thing here in Kansas City. They really are. They take up a lot of energy. Having to be the one that witnesses things, grocery stores in the metro area, in the urban core areas, as they love to call it, they are far and near, and the quality of some grocery stores are at question. You got Happy Foods not too far from where I was at. You've got Metro Thriftway, and you got another Leon's Thriftway, which I'm not going to discuss on that. That you have a lot of grocery stores in between that may or may not be of decent quality. So that is where the issue should also be pointed to, as well as how much quality can we bring to these stores. If they want to be decent grocery stores, and people, and I also come to find out that the Happy Foods, they don't always advertise Happy Foods on TV. They advertise those locations in Kansas, but not the one by 31st Street. So I want to know why that is. So if anyone at Happy Foods knows, let me know. Because I would never go out there. I'm not a walking advertisement. That's just my opinion. I would never go out there. I went in there a few times and was not pleased at the smell and how you gotta lock up deodorant. I know that you got some thieves, but how the devil do you have to lock up deodorant? That's unless. Thank you for watching Eye to Eye Kansas City. Before I get over in my head. Thank you for watching. I will see you back here next time.